More than 10 years ago, the Juneau Raptor Center began its quest for a home. In 2003, the Raptor Center and the city partnered together to obtain 10 acres of land by Brotherhood Bridge. Today, the land lays fallow, but Raptor Center volunteers still care for birds from their homes across Juneau. Kathy Maas and her daughter Debbie care for 4 of the center's education birds.
I was always calling on my daughter, can you help me do this or help me do that or whatever, and so she started getting more and more involved. To be able to be in this close a contact on a daily basis with a wild bird is just phenomenal. Even if I'm dreading going out to feed them, it's cold or I'd rather be doing something else or something. As soon as I walk into the mew and see the bird, my heart just gives a lift and it just transports me to somewhere else.
The Raptor Center coordinates and pays for vet care and food, while volunteers carve out time and space necessary to care for a wild animal. And Maas is retired, and she structures her day around the diurnal cycles of her birds.
Well, I go out and I cut up the fish for Justice and sprinkle some vitamins on it. For the 2 hawks, I go out and pluck their quail for them. I also put the Vitahawk on those. Going out to the mew, just offer, and they come and sit on my fist, and then they have their dinner, and I come back in and wash the dishes. To sit there and eat her food just inches away from me, this is a way of reinforcing the training that she's had, but also reinforcing the trust and the connection that we have, so that when we go out in public and there are scary things happening, ideally she feels safe on my arm.
She used to have short-term house guests, too, animals that got sick or hurt and only needed to heal before they could go on their way. Rehabilitation animals like that will soon move to a clinic, but the 4 birds in Maas's care will never be released.
We have Justice, who is an adult male bald eagle, and he came to us in 2000. He had gotten in a fight with another eagle and took a talon right in his eye. His eye is just destroyed, the left eye. Otherwise, though, he's normal and healthy, but the trouble is that when he tries to fly, he doesn't fly a straight line, and if he were hunting, he would probably not succeed often enough to survive. Bebop is our little stellar jay. We haven't had him very long, since 2010, I think. He was born in Cordova and raised up there for 9 years, but he was hit by a car as a young bird, and he was blinded, both eyes, and his beak was injured, so it doesn't grow straight. He can function blind. It's just incredible. Find his food, bathe, sing. We have Mona Lisa. She was hit by a car out at Vanderbilt Hill, and she came to us in December of 2004. She has a slightly droopy wing, but she's a very unusual bird. She's a red-tailed hawk, but she doesn't look anything like one. She doesn't have a red tail, and she's a just almost solid chocolate brown color. No modeling or anything. So it was really neat to keep her as an example of the Harlan's variety of red-tailed hawk. And usually we take the 2 red-tails out together because they don't look alike at all, and yet they are. Brutus is a red-tailed hawk. We've had her since 2003. In her very first summer of life, she was hunting alongside the road out at mile 39. Probably was hit by a car. She was found a few days later in the ditch with a head injury. And she recovered fully except for the sight in her left eye. And the head injury might have changed her personality a bit, because red tails are known to be calm and easy to get along with, and she's just a little bit high-strung, but wonderful.
After a few minutes outside, a stellar jay like Bebop came by to check Brutus out. Brutus ignored the jay until the dive bombing started.
We train them to be comfortable on our fist. That's supposed to be their most comfortable place in public, and they're supposed to have faith in us to protect them.
It takes more than your average garage to care for a bald eagle. Maas's husband Ron built the mews to follow a strict code and modified them as they got to know each bird's needs.
The centralized location would be really good. You have to have somebody hold the bird in order to trim their beaks and trim their talons and make sure that they aren't developing bumblefoot or anything else that might have happened to them.
This is often a chance for volunteers who can't house a bird to get involved.
And we've had several people come over the years, and they volunteer for a while, but we have to The food is in my house, and so I need to prepare it ahead of time so that they can have it when they arrive, and we have to agree on a time. And then because of our location, the winter weather is a factor, and sometimes people can't even get up the hill.
The Juneau Raptor Center will move the rehabilitation animals into a rental clinic in the valley, while board members explore the best use of the land. Meanwhile, Maas continues to pluck quail and chop fish every day for the chance at an eagle, jay, or hawk to jump up and look into her eyes.